he's listening already. I don't know. Oh, yep, he was. Thank you, kind sir. Sit on my face and tell me that you love me. I'll sit on your face and tell you I love you too. That's an old one.
I think it's still relevant today, though.
God.
And there is Summer of '84 trailer.
I actually reached out to them to see if they'd be willing to let us screen it, but I haven't heard anything back yet.
Nah, it's big league.
It is, but I've talked with one of the directors, and I wondered if he'd be willing to even sit in our podcast just for like a quick interview, even.
Are they French or French Canadian?
French Canadian. And I think Stephen Barrow might give us a screener for Song of Solomon, but I think he wanted to wait till it kind of like dropped on the premiere first before he got screeners out.
Yeah, I haven't heard much from him. I messaged him and he read it, but all right, now it's the Never Hike Alone trailer.
Next week, I'll probably have a trailer for you to play. It's a
Okay.
French zombie film called We Ate the Night.
You hear that Jim Jarmusch is doing a zombie movie?
The cigarettes and coffee guy? Really?
Yep. With Selena Gomez.
What?
Yeah. Someone's been drinking the Kool-Aid.
Oh my god. Well, I mean, if Bill Murray's in it, and he can get some of those guys. He knows those guys. Selena Gomez. Oh my god.
Uh-oh. Don't do this to me.
Uh-oh.
You cocksucker.
YouTube gets a taste of our outtakes. What's behind the curtain of THS Lives?
That's right. I'm going to turn my Wi-Fi off on my phone. Maybe that's the issue.
I disconnected all my devices just in case. I unplugged the Roku. I did everything.
Are you playing the tribute thing yet?
That's going to be at the end of the episode.
Oh, yeah. Oh, perfect.
Just because the arms of the angel making us kicked off.
True.
Never hike alone.
That was such a good movie.
I want to watch it again, but I'm waiting for the Blu-ray. I've watched it too many times.
Yeah, me too. I haven't really heard many updates on it. Hopefully it'll be done soon.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I think the ETA was like September, so we still got a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely crowdfunded the shit out of that.
Yeah.
All right. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Friday the 13th episode here on THS Lives Tonight. My name is Brian Enright. This episode to you is brought to you by Bud Light Lime, turning on all those sexy lunch ladies around the world. So here we go. Let's bring it to you. We got all things Friday the 13th. I know you're excited because I'm really fucking excited, and I'm about to drink more, and we're all going to get really excited. So here we go. My name is Brian Enright. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram if you like seeing pictures of myself. So yeah, go check that out. You follow me at Brian Enright or the Horror Jew on any of those other little things. So up next we have our one and only Jared Letourneau. Jared, good evening.
Good evening, Brian, and all you little boils and ghouls out there.
And you're mute.
Oh, that was quick.
That was quick. Jared, I think your mic is yeah. Oh, Jared. Yeah.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, there you are.
Yeah. Let's get your name back up there, Jared.
There. Sorry about the technical difficulties. But you guys can follow me on Facebook at Jared Letourneau or at zombie_survivor on the Twatverse. Looking forward to this fun discussion on Friday the 13th.
All right. Thank you very much, Jared. And, of course, up next we have, I like to call my very own prodigy, Charles the Chuck Ransford. Chuck, good evening.
Pleasure to be here, Brian. So excited to be here with you guys tonight. This is a long time coming, and I'm stoked that it's going to happen on Friday the 13th.
Oh, you're very welcome. We're going to have a great episode. You hear that out there on Facebook land? You can join us. You can hang out with us, and you can copy in or comment in your comments, and we will read them out loud, and we'll talk about them, because this is a night for all of you, as it is for all of us here at the Horror Syndicate. We're going to talk about Friday the 13th. We're going to talk about Jason Voorhees. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about Roy, everyone's fan favorite. All the way from Pamela Voorhees to shaving cops going to hell and flying out to outer space. Everything is going to be covered tonight. So let's do this. Friday the 13th. This is our episode. So this is a very big episode for us fans, because this is a day where everyone can go out and be a horror fan. It's like Christmas, but twice a year. So this is really exciting, guys. I'm very excited to have all of this shit going on today. So Friday the 13th. It's a video game that's been halted. It's most likely gonna get canned, but it's okay because I'm not gonna get into it. But a little thing happened earlier this year. Maybe I will get into it. Victor Miller, the guy who created Jason Voorhees, there's a whole legal issue thing happening right now, and the fans of the video game are super pissed off, and they want blood. I mean, they want blood. Like, they're ready to hop off their couches and go get some blood. Camp blood. So that's exciting. But yeah, this has been a crazy year for Friday the 13th, guys.
It really has.
Yeah. It's sad. I mean, it's sad what's going on. It's easy to paint Victor Miller as the ultimate villain. I think there is two sides of it. I think it's just really unfortunate for us that, we have to see these guys. It's like when your parents are fighting,
Yeah, we're the ones that suffer because of it.
Exactly. And it's like to not have any new content on the horizon. It's kind of a sad, not that we're grateful or had great hope for anything coming anytime soon anyway, but still to know that where it stands now, we're not going to get much is kind of sad. So we'll see. Hopefully they get it taken care of.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. At the same time, you can hate him, but I don't blame him because he probably didn't get a fair shake with all the royalties, even though he did just create a character and part of a franchise that branched off and was totally different from his initial vision. But he still, I'd be pissed off too a little bit if I was that guy. But I don't know. Kind of like Chuck was saying, we are the ones that are just kind of stuck here waiting now.
That's right. We are here in fucking limbo. So, but this is big though, because this is the first time that gamers have officially come out and expressed their feelings on the Friday the 13th franchise. Because for the longest time, it was the fans of the horror genre, movie fans, and now we have all these gamers coming out. And here's the thing: when you piss off gamers, they go for blood. and I understand that the gamers, there's a lot more people who play video games compared to a lot of more people who watch the Friday the 13th movies nowadays because the younger generation is getting on the video games. But you take away a video game from a video gamer, they're gonna want to fucking kill you. And Victor Miller has stepped on that landmine, and it's unfortunate because he did create the character, and rights should be paid where rights are due. But like you said, Jared, like us fans have been sitting, waiting patiently even before the whole video game took off and everything.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, but here we are.
Well, like Jared said, that we're in limbo now, but really before the game came out, that's kind of how Friday the 13th fans were. I mean, we've been in limbo since the remake came out, and it was so exciting to see. I'm not a big gamer. I played the game. It was whatever. I suck at gaming. That's just what it is. I play Madden and Grand Theft Auto.
Me too.
Yeah. But it was really cool to see just the rejuvenation and of the interest in the franchise when the game came out. So it was like just when you feel like you're getting out of that limbo, I'm feeling like, okay, now we're getting some new Friday the 13th related content. Where are we going to go from here? It sucks that now it's like the rug is pulled out from underneath you. But it makes sense because when, before the game came out, when it was the whole franchise was just an afterthought, well, Victor Miller's not really going to put much of a fight up to get his hands on, if it's not as popular as it was. Now that it's getting popular again and there's different possibilities on the horizon, he obviously wants a piece of the pie, and I don't think I can blame him. But it's been really cool to see how much this video game has impacted the franchise. It's been really cool.
Yeah, and director of Never Hike Alone, Vincent DiSanti, we had him as a guest on earlier this year, and he's a huge fan of the Friday the 13th video game. In fact, he's such a huge fan of the Friday the 13th video game that the people who created the game are a huge fan of his movie, Never Hike Alone, a huge fan of him. They actually gave him a kill in the video game where he punts off the victim's head. It's very exciting. I haven't unlocked it yet, but I have watched YouTube videos like the fucking nerd that I am. And it looks really cool. And it's pretty awesome to see that, Vincent DiSanti's movie has kicked off and everyone has been talking about it. And like, I know they just released something about the Ghost Jason. I don't know if it's a toy or whatnot. I don't know. You guys may probably have better insight on that than I do. Maybe you guys on Facebook land know more about it than I do. But Vincent DiSanti's Never Hike Alone got some huge buzz, and now he started working with Renee Rivera on The Spirit of Haddonfield, which is a fan film of the Halloween franchise. But this is a Friday the 13th episode, so we're not going to talk about Mike Myers and his potential sequels that are going to happen after this. But so, anyway, Never Hike Alone, if you guys get a chance, go watch it out. I know that it's going to be some interview with, for, what was it? Scares That Care? Is that what it's called?
Yes.
Yeah, the one that Lombardo's doing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's going to be playing at Scares That Care. It's a huge film festival, and all proceeds go to charity. Yeah. It's for a good cause. All proceeds go to charity. But, you can find this movie on YouTube. And, spoiler alert, we have someone from the past that shows up at the end of the movie that will knock your socks off if you don't know who it is. Tommy Jarvis.
Wow. All right.
Come on. If you have not seen this movie, you are fucking missing out. We have some.
It's free on YouTube, guys. Go watch it if you haven't seen it. Go watch it.
We have some people from Facebook land. Greg Burdash.
Oh, that's my cousin.
Oh, hello, Chuck's cousin. He said, "What up, Friday 13th fans? What's up, Greg?" Marty Cheney, thumbs up. Well, thumbs up to you, my friend. We have Keith Saunders. Keith Saunders is a cool dude, man. Like, we constantly get updates from Keith, and he's always letting us know what's happening because, we're so caught up with the indie world that we never really know what's going on in Hollywood land. But Keith Saunders, man, Keith is a hero. So, Keith, if you're watching this episode, shout out to you, brother, and thank you for all that you do.
He's kind of our quiet ghost contributor here at the Horror Syndicate. Always keeping us in the know.
That's right. So watch out, other websites, because Keith Saunders is ours, not yours, Dread Central. So thank you, Keith. Lauren Lepre, director of The Dark Military, he's having a film festival come up next weekend called Liberty Shorts Massacre 5. This will be the fifth Shorts Film Festival. It's a horror film festival, and it's going to be all weekend, Thursday, July 19th to Saturday, July the 21st. They're going to have short film festival, and on Saturday at the Trocadero in Philadelphia. You hear me, tri-state area? If you're around next weekend, go check this out. It's a pretty cool event because it is ending with my favorite horror movie of all time, The Monster Squad. I know that it's so confusing to hear about The Monster Squad because I remember renting it and looking for it when I was a child at all the video stores, and then finding out as an adult that not a lot of people have seen it. It just kind of confuses me, and people don't exactly know where they stand with The Monster Squad. But The Monster Squad is here, and I'm so glad that Shane Black and Fred Decker are finally like in the limelight again after RoboCop 3.
I know. That's what I was just gonna say. It's probably because he went on to direct RoboCop 3.
But yeah, Liberty Shorts Massacre 5 is ending with The Monster Squad, and I'm fucking stoked. I will be there. Jenny Marie from the Horror Syndicate's going to be there on Thursday. So if you are out there, go check us out. We will give you a hug and we'll take pictures with you, and you'll be on our snappy ass website, thehorrorsyndicate.com. So that's exciting. So thank you very much, Lauren Lepre. Hope to have you on the rest of the episode. I'll check out your pictures of you in Blairstown today. Brian J. Conway. I'm only here to hear Brian's voice. I'm not let down. Well, thank you very much, Brian J. Conway. I am not let down with you either. So I appreciate it. Raquel Rincon is waving.
Nice.
Let me see. Well, let's Chuck wave to Kelly. Or Raquel, I'm sorry.
Have another beer, Brian.
Have another beer, right? All right. So, thank you, Raquel. Brian J. Conway, the game was so buggy and such trash at first, but as a fan of the franchise, I stuck with it. But yeah, what's going on with it makes me want to fucking rage. Me too. Everyone's raging right now.
It was kind of buggy at first, but they kind of ironed that stuff out after a while.
They did, and you know what? I could tell it was really buggy because I kept killing you, and I was like, this has to be a glitch, Jared.
Well, like every time you spawned right next to my face, like I even jumped out of a window and jumped into your arms at one point. Yep. I jumped out of a second-story window and jumped right into Jason's arms, basically.
I think I caught you like mid-fall, like before your body hit, and like to recuperate, like yourself getting up from that fall, that devastating fall. I picked you up and I just held you like right before you landed. Ladies and gentlemen, holy shit! We have award-winning director Mike Lombardo from I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday here. Our syndicate team member, Mike, say hello and introduce yourself.
Howdy, everybody. Sorry I'm late. I'm Mike Lombardo. Yes, hello. I directed I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday, and I'm on the show. How's everybody doing tonight?
Good. Keep you in the loop tonight. We're talking about Friday the 13th. There you go.
It is October 31st, after all.
Yeah.
So thank you for joining us. We're just catching up on Facebook land real quick, and we'll get right back into the Friday the 13th franchise.
Yep. Mike Lombardo has a pocket calendar from 1956, by the way, guys.
Really?
I've got things. Stuff. I'm half asleep right now.
Do you keep it in a shadow box with your semen cookbook?
That's not in a shadow box. That's in a Scotch guarded box. So it's fluid proof.
Oh man.
So all right. So we got Jared asked, anyone have any Friday 13th questions for us? And I don't know why I read that, but yes, we will get into Friday the 13th questions. Sorry, Jared. Joe Ridgely, it's awesome. I guess he's talking about Never Hike Alone, and yes, it is very awesome. Thanks for joining us, Joe. We have Lauren Lepre. Hola. Hello, Lauren.
Hello.
Brian J. Conway says the Wolfman's got nards. Yes, he does.
Last time I checked, he did until he got blown up.
Frankie Ruiz says Monster Squad is amazing. Thank you, Frank. Lonnie Reimer, he was actually a winner of one of our Jason masks not too long ago, last Friday the 13th.
Yep.
So Lonnie, is super fan of the Horror Syndicate. Lonnie says, my son is kicking ass in Friday the 13th game right now. Tell us more about your Alien film, Mike Lombardo. That's where we end.
Oh, God.
Alien film. Oh, who wants to know about the Alien movie?
Neil Blomkamp.
Oh, yeah, well, they are adapting one of the original Alien 3 scripts in the comic, which is pretty neat. I don't know which ones. There's like 75 different ones. I hope it's the one about the wooden planet, because that one was really weird. That's like legitimately one of their plot lines. No, the Alien movie, real quick, was going to be... so I feel like I did talk about this last time a bunch, didn't we? I don't even remember.
Yeah, you kind of got put on blast a little bit.
Oh, the fucking hashtag. Yeah. So anyway, so it's about a woman who miscarries her child, and she's in a support group for women with postpartum and, women who have lost their children. And she's telling the story about how she technically died on the table, and they resuscitated her. The baby did not live. And she pretty much just feels like she doesn't have anything to live for anymore, because they tell her that there's a lot of scar tissue in her uterus, so she will no longer be able to bear children. So she just feels like she's never really going to be, a mother. So there's no point. She's not going to propagate her genes or anything, and she just feels like she's empty. And the movie is called Empty Nest. So as she's leaving the meeting, another woman comes up to her and says, I've been where you are, and I took comfort in my faith. And she said, the main character says, I don't have any faith. I'm pretty sure that God turned his back on me and my child that day in the delivery room. And the woman looks at her and says, but my God hasn't. And then she says, I want you to meet some people. I think they may be able to help you. And she takes her to an abandoned factory, which is actually the meeting place of the Church of the Holy Mother, the Holy Queen Mother, which is a cult that worships the xenomorph. And they have these masks that are face huggers, but they're made of gold. And they tell her that their book of lore, whatever you want to call it, their Bible, whatever, tells them that from a barren womb, the Queen Mother will emerge in this new vessel in glorious, black, midnight black flesh and all this stuff. And that it's their job to spread her gospel by offering themselves to be reborn. And they unveil that they have several alien eggs. And they tell her, because she says, I would do anything to be a mother again. And they offer her that chance. So she kneels in front of the alien egg and gives herself to the Queen Mother. And the last shot of the movie would be her in her nursery that she had set up for her child, which was empty. And she grabs her stomach and looks up, smiling maniacally, and says, I felt him kick. And then it would end. So.
God damn. How did
fantastic.
Your movie got chosen. They just chose it without you. They're like, look at this creative idea that we came up with that no one else has thought about.
Yeah.
Discredit Mike Lombardo, award-winning director of I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday.
Well, if anyone who is interested in that plot line can read it kind of in a book called Alien Bug Hunt. It's an anthology. It's actually really bad. I'm not going to recommend the book because it's got the worst editing I've ever seen in my life. But Brian Keene's a famous horror author, is a good friend of mine. I gave him the pitch because he needed a pitch to pitch Fox, and I came up with that and gave it to him, and they loved it. So Fox did take the pitch. They just made him change it to be about the Colonial Marines. So instead of the support group and all that, the Marines answer a distress call for a ship that had gone down an alien-infested planet, and then the lone survivor is a woman and then all that stuff happens, but she ends up killing me. I'm the main character. I'm just going to spoil it. I'm the main character. She kills me at the end and reveals as I'm dying that's what she's doing, is giving herself to the alien egg. So it's in some form. So Fox did like the idea. I just don't think that it worked for this particularly well. But I am very curious to see what the entries that did win. I really want to see their pitches and stuff. I'm really curious to see how they turn out. I'm hoping there's some really cool Xenomorph action in there. But anyway, back to everything else. Thank you for whoever wanted to hear about that.
It's always a blast. So let's go from really depressing xenomorph human sacrifices over to super ultra depressing shaving scenes with a boy who drowned later grew up to shave a police officer in a movie that's hated by everyone. Mike Lombardo's favorite movie.
Talking about 7?
I am talking about 8.
Oh.
But so all right, so Jason Voorhees is this dude that was created by a guy named Victor Miller. And Sean Cunningham was the producer and the director of the original movie. Now, the whole thing began as a cash-in on the Halloween franchise. And to this day, the entire franchise remains a cash-in.
What are you talking about? Are you implying that 80s horror was the fast food of cinema? Because that's absolutely ridiculous. Let me tell you, when Victor Miller penned the script for the original Friday the 13th, the characterization, the rich, intricate plot line, the subtle nuances, this is really what makes Friday the 13th the day that we celebrate. I'm so happy that that man is going to hopefully get the rights to his creation, his masterwork back. I'm Mike Lombardo.
Award-winning director.
What really grinds his gears?
and the views plummet.
But it wasn't until Friday the 13th Part 2 when we finally took off with Jason Voorhees and his killer raid amongst teenagers who have sex. And of course, he went for diversions too. I'm talking about your character, Larry Turner. So he goes after these teenagers. And I think, wasn't it the second one, the only movie out of the entire series that had the highest survival rate?
Yeah,
right?
Lodge survives. They just go off to go disco dancing, and then the narrative.
Yeah, there was 3 or 4 of them that went to a bar and survived.
Yeah. They should make Friday the 13th, you know how Disney made The Lion King 1.5? They should do Friday the 13th 2.5, and it's just them coming back, and they're just like, hey, guy in the wheelchair, what's up? Oh my God.
He's got a machete in his face.
They're like, oh shit. Well, it's a good thing they didn't get Ted, and they're like, Ted? And they just, no, it's just them. It's an hour and a half of them freaking out when they find the bodies, which is the big explosive start. And then they call the police, and then it's just them sitting in the back of a squad car while the forensics team comes. Then they're sitting in a police station, not doing anything for 2 or 3 hours, and they all get interviewed separately. And then they tell their story. It's just a complete non-interesting aftermath of what happens to them.
That's the story we need.
It is the story we need. Can you imagine, just coming back after, a night of heavy drinking and then finding your fellow, camp counselors dead?
Drinking and disco dancing?
Yeah.
And also, could you imagine if they made the guy in a wheelchair and Reggie playable characters in the video game, which they're never going to do?
Phenomenal. I needed those feety pajamas, let me tell you. But I really would have loved the wheelchair one, because I dubbed him Rolling Thunder when I was watching the movie in high school. A random thing. But he has a lot of upper body strength, so he could still pocket knife Jason pretty effectively, I feel like.
Yeah. No, I agree. It'd probably be a little difficulty getting in the car or the boat, but I think he would manage. But I think Reggie as a playable character, I think some of the things that should happen to Reggie, if you were to play as Reggie, is Jason not only goes after Reggie, but Jason throws every one of Reggie's family members at Reggie when he's running through a house. Oh, here comes his grandfather through the window. Oh, look, here comes his brother through the other window. And then he just keeps...
family reunion.
Poor Reggie the Reckless.
Brought to you by those damn enchiladas.
Those damn enchiladas.
See, but then they could also, you could do, if you play as Reggie, you can't drive. You have to be in the passenger seat because you're not old enough and your feet can't reach the pedals.
And all you can do is hang your head out the window and scream like a girl.
Well, that's the beauty of it, Jared, because before you find the keys, the gas, and the battery, that's what Reggie can do. He can go into the car before it's repaired and hang his head outside the window and scream like a girl.
Oh my God, no, I got it. I got the special kill because I think that each counselor should have like a special kill that happens to them. Jason locks Reggie in a hot car without water or AC and leaves him unattended. And then, as a counselor, you can break the window to get him out before time runs out. I think that would be great. Also, it's Reggie's special power would be his counselor skill, and it only works for him. Is if someone is about to get killed by Jason, like if Jason grabs you, Reggie can let out a shrill, girlish scream that temporarily distracts Jason and lets them get away and into some kind of construction vehicle that they can then ram Jason with.
Perfect.
Perfect. Like a bulldozer or whatever it was in that movie. I can't remember.
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah,
And, it's kind of disappointing to hear that like Gun Media and Elphonic had all of these plans to bring in the Grendel and Jason X, and it's just not going to happen now, ever.
Well, so I would like to mourn all of that because that would have definitely got me playing again. Because all I wanted was Jason X. They had that skin and everything; it was all ready. I think that the real problem here is not Victor Miller's lawsuit, but that Gun Media and Ilphonic fucking dragged their ass so much on that game, and nothing that they promised was delivered even close to on time. And I think that's the real problem. And honestly, I feel like this lawsuit was their way out, because I think they were in over their head, because that game was not up to snuff with. They had so many bugs and so many problems in the community that they were not addressing, and that's why me and Lex stopped playing. So it was so frustrating. I think they just wanted out. They're like, cool, this worked for a while. We're good. We're going to leave while we have an excuse.
I've seen that as a very popular theory. Like, they just bit off more than they can chew, and they're kind of using the lawsuit as an excuse of saying, well, can't put anything new out, guys. Sorry. Because a lot of people think that even if this lawsuit business gets settled, that nothing new will come from Gun.
Well, yeah, because they said, they're like, oh, well, you can't just stop development on a game and then pick it back up. I'm like, actually, you can. They do it all the time. It's like, as much as I'd like to believe that the small development team will cease to exist the moment that they axe the game, presumably they will want jobs in the future. And as rich and varied as their, game experience is, I don't really foresee them getting picked up by Bethesda anytime soon or anything. So presumably they will want to continue to make money.
I'm still waiting on the Disney character update for SOCOM 2 Navy SEALs.
Ooh.
I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, though.
Oh, they pushed that back. They're going to put that in Manhunt 3.
Thank God.
What I have heard.
How can you be more controversial than Manhunt 1, Manhunt 2? Make the main character a penis. A flaccid penis.
Well, I mean, Postal you could play as Crotchy, so that's sort of like that. You know what? No, but you know what company would do that? Mad Mind Studios, the brilliant people behind Agony, the best indie game ever made, that I just returned to GameStop, and I had to argue with them for an hour to get a refund because the game is a $40 coaster because it's unfinished, and they never patched it, and they just disappeared.
Why are you buying hard copies, Mike Lombardo?
Because
Don't you know the thing is to download your digital copies and then eat the fucking money that you spent on it because you can't return it?
Yeah, well, the important thing about digital copies is they cost exactly the same amount, except there's no physical copy that I can put on my shelf. If it were cheaper or more convenient, suppose that my hard drive breaks, well, my game no longer works. And then they say, but Mike, you can just download it again from the server. I said, but what if the company disappears overnight like Mad Mind Studios did? Well, then you're fucked. What about Ilphonic and Gun Media? They're dropping support for their game. I'm sorry. They're still going to keep the servers and continue to work on bug fixes. because they're still making money, which they're not, and they didn't do it while they were making money. So why the fuck would they do it now? Because all those things cost capital, and they're not getting any. So I don't mean to sound cynical here, but I don't think that Friday the 13th is going to be around for much longer. But yeah, physical copies, I want something in my hands, and I've seen so many people get screwed by shit like that because, for instance, Agony, when they did their Kickstarter for the game, for those who aren't familiar, Agony is a first-person survival horror game set in hell. It just came out a month ago, and they promised all this big stuff on their Kickstarter, and then fucked everybody. Now they're going to get sued, like No Man's Sky did. But they didn't give the download codes to the backers. Nobody got it. I went out and bought it at GameStop the day it came out, and the people that paid the money for it didn't have it for like 3 weeks. Same happened to Friday the 13th. Lex she backed it for like $200. Didn't get a download key or anything that worked for like a week, and then she couldn't log on the servers. They were so clogged. But people had their physical copies from the store. It's like, why the fuck would you bother supporting?
Did she at least have a Savini, Jason?
Yes, but it didn't work. Yeah, we couldn't log on the servers. Savini Jason didn't work, and then when they finally sent her physical copy, like 2.5 months later, it came with a Gun Media sticker and a fucking shitty like slipcase for the game that looked like crap. And then the same physical copy that she had gotten before, and the little like counselor skins and shit were already available to everybody for free to download for like a month already. And I'm like, well, it's a good thing you put like $200 into this.
Yeah, that's. You would think the game developers would have set up like a beta time frame, like a month for the backers to play first before they even drop it in the stores.
So, or you could be like Agony and just release the beta as a finished game.
This is our whole game. It's a beta.
Yeah, pretty much. Agony was agony to play.
You know what? I had a fun time playing Friday the 13th, though. When it first came out, right after they fixed all the bugs and, like, the server issues, it was really fun for, like, the next 3 to 4 months because people were discovering things about each other. People became friends. The community.
That's how we all got together, remember?
Yeah.
I played with you boys. Jared invited me and Lex Quinn onto
It was so funny playing with you guys because Lex was trying to kill me as I was driving away, and all I hear is, "Motherfucker, come back! I'll kill you! You motherfucker!
Get back here! Get over here!" And I'm like, "Oh God,
I was just like driving, like, holy shit, who's coming after me?" And all I hear is, my girlfriend's gonna kill you. She's a better gamer than I am."
Yeah. Dude, when she was playing that, I'm like, Lex, don't fuck this up for me. This horror website wants, like, I'm in. They want me to fucking play Friday the 13th with them. That's like when you're at like a bar and it's like, hey, let me get you a drink. Let's step outside. It's like, oh shit, this is like a business meeting. This is high powered stuff.
Yeah.
Little did I know that I was going into this, but I have Friday the 13th to thank for that. And
who would have thought? Who would have thought that the Horror Syndicate would have sent out me to NJ HorrorCon to like follow you around and be completely useless against like people who are trying to fucking stalk you?
Well, no, that's not true. You did help me block the soap woman. Remember? We were standing talking in the incredibly narrow aisles that they had, and the soap lady who was selling soap, as one does at a horror convention, like, can you guys move? I'm trying to, sell my wares.
Can you guys just move? I'm trying to make a living.
Yeah. Like, well, I mean, she was to her credit, her eucalyptus soap, really one of the biggest sellers of the convention. People weren't there for this. I mean, some people came for the celebrities, some people came for Doomsday. I came for the soap.
There's so much soap sold at conventions. I can't believe it. There's like multiple vendors that sell soap.
It is bizarre. It is a lot of soap. And I mean,
goofy.
Honestly, smelling some of the attendees at the convention, clearly they're not using the soap that they buy.
Exactly.
They don't want to open it. It's like, oh, this is going to be worth something someday.
Hey, man, my wife bought soap. Okay, she went to NJ HorrorCon and she bought some soap, and I used that soap and I rubbed it on my balls, and my balls smelled like lavender, and it was delicious.
Well, that's good. That's what put me to sleep. That relaxing lavender. But Brian, so you don't forget, across from the soap lady was the people that had the Alien 3 chestburster Halloween costume from 1994.
Didn't you buy that?
I did. I told Brian and everyone who was with me, I said, your job is to make sure I don't buy this because it was like $100. But I ended up getting
Brian, you didn't do your job.
No. Here's the thing, though, because I saw I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday on my computer. And then I went and I saw I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday with a crowd full of like 50, 60 people in a small room that was the same room that played My Uncle John's a Zombie. And I didn't stay for the whole movie. I kind of left during that part, but I did stay for I'm Dreaming of White Doomsday.
You mean you left for the whole part that was John Russo's movie? Sorry.
I watched it for
I watched it for 5 minutes. John Russo walked by and said, "This is a piece of shit, isn't it?" And then it walked out. I was like, "John Russo!" but I saw I'm Dreaming of White Doomsday, and I was like, "Oh my god, the audience is like loving it." And I think I saw some people crying. And I was like, this is exciting. And, and then I realized that the person crying was actually Mike Lombardo's mother. So that's great. I'm glad I got to experience that. So I cried with her. And it was, it was really cool seeing I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday on the big screen and being right there next to the director this is pre-horror syndicate, Mike Lombardo, ladies and gentlemen. This was real splatter only. I played a video game with Brian Enright once or twice, Mike Lombardo. So
true.
This is stuff down for the books.
Lombardo.
That's right. And I was looking forward to meeting Lex, but Lex didn't make it. So maybe I'll see you guys at the next convention or on a hangout date. But I was really excited because I'm Dreaming of White Doomsday had everyone captivated. It grabbed everyone by the balls, and it had me so emotionally invested in it that I fucking needed to block that lady who was selling the soaps. So Mike Lombardo knew that I was there for him and not the soaps.
And for the Alien 3 Chestburster, which everyone's like, man, you won like 2 awards. You got to go to a private room party with Bob Camp for Ren and Stimpy. Man, this was a hell of a convention for you. I'm like, I know. I got an Alien 3 fucking Halloween costume. Like, holy shit. I haven't seen one of these since I was like 9. The only difference is now I can also beg my mom to buy it for me. But this time it might work. So then I was like, fuck it. I'm a big girl. I have my own money.
Mike, we're relatively the same age here. Did you happen to have an Alien 3 Xenomorph that whenever you squeeze his head, water would come out?
That's actually the Gorilla Alien from Kenner. That's my favorite of the Alien toys. I have one open that I used to play with as a kid, still do, and then I have 2 boxed ones, and I also have the NECA redesign of it.
He plays with it in his bathtub time.
I do. Still. I still do. And there's that...
You ain't going anywhere, Ripley!
Well, there's that... Well, it also had the grabbing action, so you could grab and lift up the Hicks toy and then squirt him in the face. There's that meme that goes around that says any girl's a squirter if you cut the right artery. And I really wanted to change that and say any girl's a squirter when she has a original Kenner Gorilla Alien circa 1993. Please it. It's true. I mean, not that I ever used that in like sex play or anything, but
Ladies, man.
That's right. It's ladies' night in Mike Lombardo's tub.
It's always ladies' night in Mike Lombardo's tub. I got a fresh one on ice, and
Well, thank God for that. But yeah.
Where do you go from here?
Where do we go from here?
It's like, I got ice cold Zima in the tub. I think she's Russian.
I had a Zima for the first time. And, Jared, you're a little bit older, so you may have had a Zima back in the day when it first came out. But I had a Zima for the first time. And no one explained to me that you had to drop a Jolly Rancher in it for it to taste good. I didn't know this was this is like pre-DLC for video games.
I always wanted to try Zima because the commercials, it was like a guy in his apartment. It was really hot, and his sandals melted to the floor, and he like walked up the wall onto the ceiling. And it reminded me of Nightmare on Elm Street and The Fly. And then he drank a Zima, and then he like got all frozen. I don't know what the hell this is, but I wanted it, so I kept asking my parents to buy it for me. I didn't know it was booze. And then they discontinued it by the time I was old enough to drink. Is that
the same commercial where the guy from People Under Stairs is eating a cookie and then he wants milk?
I don't know. It might be. Did they cut out? The guy in the Zima commercial didn't have a tongue. I'm pretty sure. And then he comes out in the Gimp outfit. Or
They kind of taste like alcoholic frescas. They're not that good.
No, they're really not. But if you drop a Jolly Rancher in it, or if you're an alcoholic, I heard they taste pretty good.
No, thank you.
Lonnie Reimer just said, people think the ones who go to conventions don't use soap, so they think they can get people watching properly. LOL.
No, false. Not when they're spending all their money on
I was going to say
Halloween costumes.
Yeah,
you can't make those people wash themselves.
I spent all my money on Troma DVDs and Blu-rays that Astron 6 stuff, and then I bought the Alien 3 chestburster. I paid the ultimate price at that convention. I got food poisoning from the Jersey Diner. That was great. I was like, man, we just won Best Picture and Best Effects. I'm going to go get food poisoning now to really top this weekend off. So
then I died happy.
Yeah. What was it, like undercooked chicken or something? It
was roast beef. It was like bloody, and I'm like,
oh yeah,
oh, that's how they serve it in Jersey. I'm like, uncooked? Sure, I'll go with that. And then I said to the next day, I called my mom and I called my buddy Kevin Foster, who was there, and I said, some days you're winning awards at a film festival, and then the next day you shit your pants. I said, it's really the universe's way of humbling me.
Well, you sound like Andy Warhol after he got shot.
Yeah, pretty much. You know what? I wish I would have had the soap from that woman to clean up my shame. But I did.
But we were blocking her, so you couldn't have been able to buy any soap.
Yeah, you know what? We stood in the way of commerce, and in Hellraiser Bloodline, they say never stand in commerce's way. So that's what happened.
God bless capitalism.
Absolutely.
God bless Doug Bradley.
You just say Thug Bradley?
Doug Bradley.
I smell a Seno bun.
I will tear your shit apart.
That's awesome.
We have such lights to show you. We'll tear your soul apart.
What's Kanye West's name? Yeezy. Is that his name? Yeah. Yeezy wept. There we go. I don't know. That's
bad.
That was real. But you know what? So were the rest of the Hellraiser movies after 4. Wait, no. You guys have some sick obsession with the 5th one.
No, imagine Uncle Frank comes out with Fubu, and he says, "Come to Biggie." How cool would that be? That would be fantastic. I would love that. I would love that. That would be something.
So we got a few people watching out there.
We can change that.
Yeah, real.
Let me keep talking.
Favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie.
What's going on?
Jared froze.
I froze. I made a joke and it froze.
What was the joke? I didn't hear it. So just
I said we've got a few people watching. And I was like, well, that's Friday the 13th. What's your guys' favorite Nightmare on Elm Street movie?
Yeah. While we're at it, what is your favorite Leprechaun line from any Leprechaun movie?
Oh, gosh.
Remember, laddie, always use a prophylactic. That's from Leprechaun in Space.
I can't believe you gave us a Leprechaun line.
I have never seen a single one of them.
Oh, you only need to watch Leprechaun in Space.
Oh my God. Leprechaun, the entire series is on Amazon Prime. If you have Amazon Prime, ladies and gentlemen, the Leprechaun series in no redeeming order is on Amazon Prime. So go watch it. I know that in the second... Leprechaun in Space is a fucking gold mine, okay? Like, the first one you thought was good because of Jennifer Aniston. The second one you thought was good because the one dude dies by getting killed by a fan. The third one, what's the third one? And then when he goes to space, you're like, oh my God.
A lot of potatoes get eaten in the third one.
What happens?
Keith Saunders said, I found a diamond in the rough today. Class of Nukem High on VHS, paid 50 cents. LOL, never seen it. Class of Nukem High is fucking awesome.
Class of Nukem High is the best one out of the franchise.
Now, please, please, please never watch part 2 and 3 and steer clear of Return to Nukem High, the new one. Not awful.
Yeah. I second.
I was just telling Chuck that before we went live. That was the other movie you used to watch with me, Chuck.
Yeah,
Last
yeah,
American
yeah.
Pie.
Yeah.
Because there was top. Because here's the thing, Chuck is my prodigy. I actually introduced Chuck to trauma when he was 10 years old, and we watched a lot of really bad horror movies. And I mean bad because his parents would never let him watch this by himself. But I used to babysit Chuck. And
wait, you know each other IRL?
Yeah. For a long time.
Holy shit! It
Yeah.
all makes so much sense now.
Probably almost 20 years.
Oh my god! All those letters in the mail.
a funny story is that Chuck, I got him into trauma and like got him into like horror movies, but he found himself and he started sending me movies that were like, you know, beneath the underground shit like that. Like you know, like the American Guinea Pig movies and August Underground. And I'm like, holy shit, Chuck, you really found your way. Let me watch these movies.
That was a real dark period of my life.
But Chuck has been a huge horror fan since he was 10 years old. And before that, he was a huge wrestling fan. I don't know if he's still a huge wrestling.
I still am. I still do play-by-play commentary for some companies here in Central Pennsylvania. So before I was focusing on the Horror Syndicate, I was doing articles and YouTube shows for professional wrestling.
Now, are you familiar with the now legendary fight, the bout between the amateur Luscious Lou the Lumerian versus Little Jimmy Hitler?
I can't say I'm familiar with that one.
1987, when Luscious Lou took a bite out of his calf and spit it at the audience. This was, of course, before abducting a woman and taking her back to his diner for a blood buffet. They made a documentary about it. It's called Blood Diner.
Oh my gosh!
I thought you were talking about a real thing.
It's a real thing. You didn't see the wrestling bout?
Jackie Khan was
line
there.
of that story. I actually broke Chuck's shoulder.
And my collarbone.
His collarbone. I broke Chuck's collarbone because of wrestling, because in the name of wrestling.
You gave him like a suplex or something?
In front of his family. Yeah.
Or a pile driver?
He thought he could make me do a front flip, and I wasn't willing, and I've never been a small kid. So this is how I remember it. He put my hands in between my legs. He was behind me and pulled my legs from under my crotch. And my body didn't make a full revolution, and I just landed on my shoulder and I broke my collarbone. And on his kitchen floor, which was like literally, it was stone. It was like a stone walkway. It was terrible.
Ouch.
We used to do backyard wrestling on my trampoline back in the day. This is how far me and Chuck go back.
I still have pictures in my DARE graduation in 5th grade with my arm in a sling, thanks to you, Brian.
How could you possibly hope to dare to resist drugs and violence when you had only one arm to defend yourself against?
It's brutal. It's brutal.
That's right. Blackwood Elementary represent.
It's made me the man I am today.
When I was a youngin', we had what was the wrestler from WWF in the 90s that had like giant, he had like a hedge clippers, some kind of scissors?
Brutus the Barber Beefcake?
Yes, the Barber Beefcake. I had a toy of him, and I hit my brother in the face with it and almost poked his eye out. So, of course, I did what any 9-year-old does when he, causes his brother to cry. I ran out of the house instead of getting help and hid. So then I took the toy to dispose of the evidence. I put a stamp on it and stuck it in my mailbox with a flag up, hoping that the post office would dispose of the assault weapon.
Of the evidence.
Yeah, but they did not. It just sat in the mailbox for a couple of days. And then my dad's like, what the fuck is this doing? But true story.
That's fucking hilarious.
Wow.
Amazing story. I once had a signed copy from Bam Bam Bigelow. Is he still alive?
No, he died about 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, he passed.
He was someone diamond cuttered him to the
Well, anyway, I have a signed autograph of Bam Bam Bigelow that I lost. So that was that.
No, I got a better story for you. My buddy Julius von Brunk, you can visit at baronvonbrunk.com. He's a Lego artist, and he does all the graphics for Real Splatter. He once met, and this is fucking, I shit you not, Gravedigger, the monster truck. He met Gravedigger, and he has an autographed photo. And he said, I was like 7 years old, and he's like 35 now. He's like, I'll never forget what he said to me that day. And I leaned forward. I'm like, what did he say? What words of wisdom? And he said, are you ready? Get a pencil and paper. Now, y'all let that dry before you touch it. When he signed his autograph, unbelievable. I was like, holy fucking shit. So, of course, I immediately went to my tattoo artist and tried to get that tattooed on me. So, much like Memento, I would never forget. But, it didn't work out. The script went all shitty. I've got chest hair, so it just kind of looks like a big splodge of shit. So I tell people there's Gravedigger's autograph. And then they say, why did you have Gravedigger autograph your chest? And I was like, don't judge me. I'm my own independent man.
I remember those paid-for-TV advertisements of the monster truck. Like, monster truck, Gravedigger.
Sunday.
Yeah.
If you watch my movie Take My Breath Away, that also stars Julius, it's because of this story. It opens with him talking about he's going to go on this date, and he's like getting all ready with his American flag tie, and he's all dressed up and shit. And this girl in a really fancy evening gown comes in, and he's like, we've got a few hours to kill before the monster truck rally starts. How about we grab a few drinks?
Tonight's episode of Rehabilitation.
I had this like weird obsession. I always wanted to take a girl to a monster truck rally on a first date. I thought that would be like the greatest thing in the world. And then I saw one. I'm like, this actually really isn't entertaining at all. It's just really loud and it kind of smells.
The exhaust fumes are getting to me.
Yeah, I went to a WWF match once too. It was pretty wonderful. That was fun. I was like 17, so it was really funny because like people were like crying when someone lost, and I'm like, you totally believe this?
Don't ruin it for me, Mike.
Yeah. I already ruined Santa Claus, so why not? I don't know. I'll tell you, like going to the WWF match and finding out it was fake was more disappointing than losing my virginity.
Well,
almost as disappointing as Alien vs. Predator opening night in the theater.
Well, speaking about Alien vs. Predator and losing virginities, Chuck and I saw a wrestling match when we were kids, and I remember like when the wrestlers, it was at the CYO, and it was before they bulldozed the shit out of this place. Like they really bulldozed it. It looks like an open field. But we went to this wrestling match, and like I remember going with Chuck, his mom, his dad, and his brother, and my mom was there, and like we had all these wrestlers who we didn't know who the fuck they were, and they were all coming out, and the ones who didn't high five you as they were walking down to the ring, they were the enemy, and like you booed the shit out of them because they didn't high five you. That's how fucking real it was. It wasn't like the WWF where you watch these people for a long time and watch them make one wrong fucking move. They didn't touch your hand. They deserve to fucking die. And I remember that moment. We took pictures of wrestlers. I don't even remember their names. I'm sure they're around.
It was a good time. I remember that show. Remember it very well.
That was a good time. Keith Saunders says, well, I'll see you guys. Have a close-up show. I'll go home and back home if you guys are still alive. So thanks for watching, Keith Saunders, the VIP of dropping my phone, the VIP of keeping the Horror Syndicate updated with big budget movies. Lonnie Reimer says, when the first Leprechaun movie was in theaters, my brother had skipped school to watch it, and my mom was looking for him and saw that poster that said, your luck just ran out. And she went in there to tell him as she kicked his ass back to school.
I once Metal Geared my way out of school. I used to skip all the time. And I skipped an entire year worth of days, 183 days I skipped in the 4 years I was in high school. But one day my mom knew that I was skipping because the school called her. So they finally wised up. Because I would go out to the bus stop and then she'd drive to work and then I'd sneak back and climb in through my basement window that I always left unlocked. So I was at home watching like fucking probably Friday the 13th movie, probably Jason Goes to Hell, and rewinding the shaving scene over and over again. And I hear the front door like open. I just hear my mom bellow, "Michael!" And I was like, fuck. Because she knew I was there. So I hid behind the couch and she comes clambering down the stairs, like stomping. And she's looking around for me and she can't find me because I turned off the TV and stuff. She goes upstairs to go in my room. I fucking climbed back out the basement window. But there was a deck, a second story, like a balcony, and she went out Well, into that, and she was directly above me. If she would have looked down, she would have seen me between the cracks. And I was like up against the wall like this, and the Metal Gear music is playing in my head. And a big exclamation point came up over her head.
Oh my god!
He was in stealth mode.
There was the fucking phone ringing because I took out my cell phone and I called my house from a blocked number. So she went back inside to check the phone. I ran out through the backyard and ran to the pizza shop, and I hid in the office for the rest of the day.
It sounds like you played the game though the first try and let Merrill die, so you got the stealth bandana.
That's
I was gonna
exactly
say,
what I
you're
did.
playing Solid Snake for real.
Yeah.
Well, when I got eventually I found that I got home and she's like, I know you weren't in school. I just froze and I turned green and then it went when it said game over and then I heard Lombardo! And I realized I did not save, so I had to backtrack like an entire day.
I was just expecting it to be like, Merrill, where are we going? Fox die. Hallelujah.
Yeah.
Hola, Bajoban.
Woo! Bajo Band Lawless is watching us.
Bajo Band Lawless, you're out. Oh my god. I didn't even know you were allowed in this country anymore. I thought after the spaghetti incident you were banned. Holy shit.
I was mentioned in the comment.
Shit.
That was pretty cool.
Shit got
But
me.
yeah, no. Metal Gear Solid taught me so many interesting words, like gene pool and hallelujah low.
Yep.
And Snake!
Yep. That was the big one for me. It's funny because I didn't really truly appreciate the codec system in that game until I played Resident Evil 4. And I saw that it was also in there. And I was like, thank God for Metal Gear Solid paving the way. Because if they didn't have that mechanic, then Resident Evil 4 would not have been able to rip off of it for some reason. Bajo Band Lawless is very confused. not as confused as I am, my new friend. Not as confused as I am. I'd also like to mention for those viewing out there, I have no AC, and it's been out for about a week and a half, so I'm running on about an hour of sleep a night, and it's 86 degrees in my house right now. So I'm very sweaty and very delirious, which may have a lot to do with what I'm talking about.
That is
You need to
terrible.
take your shirt off. It's okay.
My shirt is off. I've been wearing Society for so long that it actually became flesh. It's pretty terrible.
Which would happen in the movie Society, actually, probably.
Very true. So, all right, let's real talk, guys. I mean, TGIF. Am I right?
Yep.
The 13th. TGIF 13. Right?
Hashtag.
Yeah.
I'll go with that.
It's been a long week, that's for sure.
Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah. So, isn't that Joe Bob Briggs thing happening right now?
Yeah.
Shit.
What is this? Joe Bob's doing something?
Joe Bob Briggs is doing one last drive-in movie thing.
Oh wow.
On. And
I think the first movie was Tourist Trap, if I remember correctly. Starting at 9.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's 24 hours long. Or some length of time. I'm not really sure.
Yeah, it's 24 hours, but I think you're able to go back and watch it again afterwards. So.
Very good, very good. I remember Joe Bob Briggs Friday the 13th marathons on TNT, and they would have these little bumps in between where it was Jason doing Olympic games, and he was running, and someone hands him a thing of water on the side. He rips their arm off and drinks it.
Oh my gosh!
Splashes it on their face. It was so funny. I loved it. True story.
Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well,
I just want everyone to know something that Papa Brian, that's what I'm calling myself tonight, Papa Brian, because he's about 6 beers in now. He went out and got himself a pair of jorts. Yeah, Walmart, $13. Got myself some 80s style jorts.
I thought you were gonna say you got yourself a tramp stamp for a second when you stood up.
Yeah, it is Friday the 13th, and tattoo shops are doing the $13 deals. I could have got myself a nice $13 Jason Voorhees mask on the tail of my ass bone. But guess what? That didn't happen. You know why? Because it's ladies' night.
Most of the time when people come like, I got a Friday the 13th tattoo on Friday the 13th, it was $13. And I said, you're right, it looks like it costs $13.
Yeah,
Which
that's
is
about how that goes.
Which is about how much money they paid Victor Miller to write the screenplay for Friday the 13th.
Yeah,
It's amazing.
it pretty much is.
Like, he has a really tough script to write. He had to go into his word processor, which was new at the time, and then hit find and replace all instances of October 31st and replace them with Friday the 13th.
It's like, yeah, I'm going to write this part for that little dickbag who was in Footloose. Like, you think that happened at all? Or
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Let me tell you a story about Victor Miller. I was at a film festival that they premiered Rock Paper Dead, which is like one of the other 3 movies that he's written.
God, I hope they don't make a video game out of that movie.
Yeah, oh boy, that would be fun. So they got an award for like best screenplay, and they had the whole casting crew there except for the director, because it was Tom Holland, so he wasn't there. But everyone, super cool people that were involved in the movie, like really great. Victor Miller goes up, takes the award, holds it up, and his speech was Friday the 13th, and then he just dropped the mic, and everyone like erupted into applause. And I'm like, congratulations for writing a generic knockoff of a slasher film. Like, good for you, buddy.
It kind of brings back to the whole point. It's like, let's can this video game. Let's not make another Friday the 13th movie because I own the rights. But wasn't the whole thing made because you were trying to rip off the success of the Halloween movies? It just seems like the biggest fucking cash grab, and all these people are fucking greedy, and the only people who are suffering are the fans, which what is Jared and everyone has been saying all night. The fans are the only ones suffering. You know how much I want to get my hands on a fucking New Line Cinema black tin Blu-ray set of the Friday the 13th franchise that they had at Best Buy for like a limited time? I have been trying so long to get myself one of those. And it was $100 then. It's more than that now if you find it. So, like, this shit needs to happen now. Stop giving us the same 8 movies on Blu-ray. I want my Jason Goes to Hell, Jason Goes to Space, and my Friday the 13th Part 12 movie all in one black steel case with 3D glasses. And, yeah. And I just want something big enough to put my mouth inside. I gotta say mouth because you can't say dick on TV.
It comes with a camp counselor patch too. It's kind of cool.
Do you have one, Jared?
It comes with a camp counselor patch too.
No, do you have one?
Oh yeah, I got it.
You son of a bitch.
What? Yeah, I bought it like when it released in Best Buy. I was all over that shit.
Well, that kind of brings up.
Go ahead, John.
No, I would say that kind of brings up a good question. Like, if they get all these rights things in this lawsuit settled, what do we want to see going forward? Do we want to see them continue to make more movies? Do we want to see another video game? Like, what do we want to see from the franchise? I mean, that's as much as I love the franchise, I kind of would be okay with it being what it is and not having its legacy destroyed by some crap that got put out. I don't know.
No,
you'd be okay with it dying, dying out, basically.
Well, I don't know that it would even die out. I mean, it's such an iconic franchise that I think you could still do like the merchandise for it. I think without doing new movies and things like that. But what I would hate to see is for in 20 years we've had 5 or 6 new Friday the 13th movies that have all been and it kind of brings the whole like wow factor of the franchise down. I think you just cash in on what you've done so far.
I would like to see the video game continue. I'd like to see a single-player game where you're being stalked by Jason, like Clock Tower, Alien Isolation type of deal. That's what the single-player should have been for Friday the 13th, the game.
For sure.
I want to see that. What I don't want to see is more Friday the 13th movies. And people always get pissed about that. They're like, no, we need more. And I'm like, look, guys, you've already got 11 of them. Honestly, I like these movies. I know I shit on these a lot, but I like the movies. I love them. I grew up with them. They made me a man. They taught me what to do with hand lotion when I was like 11. But
you're like, yeah, Reggie the Reckless.
Yeah, they're essentially the same fucking movie 11 times. Well, no, Jason Goes to Hell is different. That's why I like it. That's why everyone hates it, because they did something different. They actually wrote a script for that one.
I love that movie. Save me, Mike Lombardo.
But then Jason X was fun. Like, that was a great movie. But and then Freddy vs. Jason that was it. Like, we finally got what we wanted as fans. It's like, cool. They blew it out big time. It was fun. It was big. It was dumb. It was loud. It was exactly what we wanted. Let it go. Why the fuck are we rebooting it? That remake was embarrassing. Same with the Nightmare on Elm Street shit. It's like they're products of their time. They don't need to exist again. Yeah. Like, you know, half the charm of like Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th is all the hilarious 80s nonsense. Like, it's done. We have it. You know, it's like, what are we gonna do? Because the minute you do something slightly different, the fans are gonna eviscerate you. If you do the same thing, then the snobs are gonna eviscerate you, like I am.
Go ahead. No, I feel like Vincent DeSanti should be the one who holds the key to the next Friday the 13th movie.
Okay, yeah. So, I mean, Never Hike Alone. That was an original take on the franchise. I love that. I thought that was a really, really great way of doing it. But that's not what would happen if they made another Friday the 13th movie. Nobody wants that. That works as like a short, because it's an interesting concept, but there's no real gore or anything, and that's what people want. They want that shit, and it's like, why? What are you gonna do? You gonna expand the mythology? You gonna, make a prequel? Like, what the fuck's the difference? Why don't we make a prequel about what Jason was doing when after the first movie? Like, let's just make a movie where his body is moldering on the bottom of the lake for an hour and a half because he's dead, but somehow still hits puberty. But I'm sorry. I didn't mean to call into question the continuity of the franchise because, when Jason Goes to Hell, Jason has a sister now, and that's an unforgivable sin. Never mind that a 9-year-old is 40.
Well, Jason also grunts and makes loud noises when he gets shot.
Yeah. Yeah, so whatever.
I kind of agree with you guys to a point. I think with the release of Halloween coming out in October, it's going to kind of like might raise a little bit more popularity for the idea of another movie. I'm like, if Halloween is successful when it comes out in October, like Danny McBride, he's a writer that you wouldn't think would be writing a fucking horror movie, but he's like, there is ways to make it original, I think, and still make fans happy and not beat a dead horse, so to speak. But I agree with you guys at the same time, and we've been given enough movies that we have a library that we can be okay with. Like I was talking to Chuck and Brian before we got online about, every Friday the 13th that comes on, I have like 2 or 3 movies that are my go-tos every time it happens, just because I want to watch them. Like every fan has their movie that they go to on Friday the 13th. Is it going to be the new one? Probably not. But it's an intriguing idea.
Yeah, we're not in short supply of the movies. I mean, we have them. Horror fans like them. Like Mike said, we might take a dump on them every now and again, but we watch them. Every Friday the 13th, we watch them. We buy the shirts, the figures. That's not going to go away. But it's like, I don't know if I can trust people, these bigger companies in the future, to put out something that's not going to be crappy. And you know what? If they do put it out, I'm going to go see it. I'm not going to not go see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be there opening night regardless. But you know what? People are like, we need people with they're like, oh, all the new ones are going to be if a big company puts them out, right? Well, if you go back in time with me to the 80s, they were releasing one a year. They were just shitting them out because they were making a quick buck. And Paramount didn't care about them. So it's not like the bar was set particularly high.
Right.
As fans, we hold them in very high regard. But if you look at them objectively, they're garbage movies. They are. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I love garbage. There's tons of great garbage, but I don't understand why there's so much fan rage surrounding it. It's like, if you look at it, it's a complete mess of a franchise. Like, each one of them is a knockoff of a different. Like, let's look at Part 7, Jason versus Carrie. Like, what the fuck is that? Part 5, everyone.
It's the worst one out of the movies.
Which one?
7. 7 is absolute garbage, but people disagree with Matt because of Kane Hodder. Fuck it. He was an 8.
He was the Jason in Part 7 was the best looking Jason of the entire franchise.
Well, Part 8 Jason, I like how slimy he is. That made me really happy. I like that.
I liked all of the heroin abuse in Friday the 13th Part 8. Like, that's what kept me going. I wanted to see more heroin.
Absolutely. I agree. So Part 7, like, that movie's crap, right? Everyone hates Part 5 because it's a generic Friday the 13th movie. Until the last, 3 minutes, they pull his mask off. Like, oh no, it wasn't Jason. Does it really fucking matter? Like, honestly, ask yourself. Does the previous 87 minutes really change because they took off a mask and it wasn't actually Jason? And then, so everyone hates that movie. Everyone hates Part 8 because he's not in Manhattan for very long. Okay, well, he's still stalking a group of clueless teenagers through claustrophobic areas. It's just on a boat instead. Everyone hates Jason Goes to Hell because it's different. I just don't do the thing here. Which movies do people actually like? Because that's half the Jason X everyone hates. That's half the franchise all the fans fucking hate. So where's this beloved perfect Friday the 13th film?
The perfect Friday the 13th film is this. Kylie Jenner has a GoFundMe to make her a billionaire. She's $100 million short of being a billionaire. So that's where your franchise is at, Mike Lombardo. That's your fucking Friday the 13th franchise.
Well, okay, and then look at Part 1. It doesn't have Jason in it. Part 1's boring. I don't even like that movie.
Part 1 sucks. I hate Part 1.
It's
you even said that Betsy Palmer was only in it for money.
Yeah, well, of course she was. She needed car repairs. She hated that franchise till it got popular. Then suddenly she's Jason's mommy at conventions and charges $70 fucking for an autograph.
Yeah.
Then we got Part 2, which is actually a fairly genuinely good movie. Like, there's actually an attempt at likable characters, and I thought it was kind of clever. Like, that was a decent movie.
A lot of people survived in that movie, so I agree with you.
Part 3, I mean, I like it. A lot of people don't like it. The 3D thing they think is stupid, and they said it's a shit movie. But that's where he got his mask. I always thought the third one was cool. Yeah. Part 4, I think universally everyone loves. I think Part 4 is probably the best of the actual originals. I think that kind of distilled everything that's great about Friday the 13th into one movie.
Mm-hmm.
That's my
Part 6.
favorite.
I mean, I love Part 6 is my personal favorite because it's funny, but that's why everybody hates it too. And there's no nudity in it, so everyone flips out about that as well. But my point remains though, there's over 60% of the franchise is shit on by people on a regular basis. So where's the love coming from for all of this? I don't understand.
Well, my favorite out of all of them will always be Jason Takes Manhattan because it doesn't make any sense the entire movie, but it's done. It's a movie and it's made and it's there. But Part 7 was probably the worst for me because it was like you said, Jason versus Carrie. We ran out of ideas. Let's make a movie where Jason somehow fights someone who's his match and uses psychedelic, not psychedelic. What are they smoking pot?
Telekinetic.
Telekinetic. Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
Telekinetic ability.
Psychedelic.
And, yeah, oh, Jason, maybe you should stop killing. And Jason's like, yeah, I agree. The first time fucking Jason talks. But the 5 and 8 were probably my favorite of the whole series because the 5th one was clever. Everyone didn't like 5 because it wasn't Jason Voorhees. Oh my fucking God. We know it wasn't Jason Voorhees. If you get past the part that it wasn't Jason Voorhees, Part 5 is a very strong movie. And it's probably one of the best ones out of the entire series.
Well, like I said, is the last 3 minutes that reveals it really change anything?
It really doesn't, because they talk about it in Part 6. They're like, oh, we shouldn't be running away from the home like this, Tommy Jarvis. And Tommy's like, yeah, but I'm not an idiot anymore. And it's like, okay, cool. So then they revive Jason and whatever. But they mentioned the home in the beginning of the movie. I don't think anything happened with Tommy Jarvis and the counselor at the end of the movie from Part 5. I think that they just were like, let's end it. Let's see what happens. And then they ended it. And then they're like, oh, well, people were very unhappy with that movie, so let's reboot or let's continue with Jason Voorhees' storyline, make him a zombie. And Part 6 was a great movie. It was total fan service. It was like, it brought everything that the fans loved about the franchise, and it made it into a movie featuring Alice Cooper doing the soundtrack. And then 7 came along, and holy shit, 7's like, oh my god, let's make Carrie versus Jason, because that was our original idea for the story. And then people love it because Kane Hodder. But then Part 8 came out, and Part 8
Bernie Lomax. He killed Bernie Lomax.
That's true. That was actually a prequel to Weekend at Bernie's.
But, you know, Part 8 was fun because they're like, hey, how are we going to get to New York through the lakes of New Jersey? And they did.
Yeah, Ninja Turtles versus Jason. I'd watch that. Gary Kane said that. That's what I thought would happen at the end of Part 8. They should go to the sewers and have Jason's guts.
Like getting his ass kicked by 4 Ninja Turtles.
That would be super badass. But no, I like Part 8. Everyone's like, oh, it's so fucking weird. They're like weird, like random, like David Lynch shit in it. And I'm like, yeah, it's cool. Like, doesn't make any sense. I'm like, you mean like the rest of the series?
Yeah.
Crystal Lake has a tributary to the Atlantic Ocean.
Yeah. Well, okay, so I'm like, and honestly, if that's the biggest like logistical flaw that you can't handle in the Friday the 13th franchise, like, again, 7 8-year-old boy drowns and somehow grows into a middle-aged zombie monster. There's a lot of logistical problems going on in the film. And you know what? I'm all for Jason body swapping and doing all that shit, and Jason Goes to Hell. It was something different. There was an actual attempt at a story in mythology. It wasn't the same thing. And so much delightfully disgusting gore in that movie.
Yeah. You're making me want to watch it later.
That's all that I'm here for, is to make people want to watch Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X, because I love it so much.
Jason X is a total guilty pleasure movie for me. I can't get enough of that movie, and that's like I don't understand why people hate it so much. I get so much joy out of watching it.
They don't have joy in their life. That's why they hate it.
It's so wonderful. I mean, I bought this really cool shirt. There's a website called Fast Custom Shirts, but they have a ton of horror movie shirts for like $10. And
T-shirt Joe.
They got this awesome Jason X shirt there. I would wear it every day if I didn't need to clean it.
Fat T-shirt Joe from Texas, right?
Is that who it is? Yeah. Yeah,
Joe
from
Garcia?
Texas. Yeah.
Corpus Christi. Yeah, I've ordered many shirts from that company.
They're fantastic, and they're super cheap.
Cheap, and they look great, too.
Yeah. I love Jason X. It's totally guilty pleasure for me.
Honestly, like, Jason X has the best kill in the entire franchise for me.
Yeah, the cryo
face
clam. Absolutely.
It also has David Cronenberg in it.
Yeah, that was the best kill. It killed his career. What?
Cronenberg went on to win several Academy Awards for his films such as A History of Violence, Spider, Eastern Promises, Match to the
Look at this asshole. Award-winning director of I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday telling me how to live my life. Who do you think you are? Looking all cute over there.
Maybe it's the Bud Light Lime talking, Brian, but
maybe it's the lunch ladies wanting my Bud Light Lime. Are the lunch ladies watching?
I don't know.
Hello, lunch ladies. This is a message from Brian Enright to the lunch ladies.
Just in case
if you're watching, I want you to comment when you officially seen this message. Go ahead. Right there. Comment. I'll see you in 2 fucking years. Okay, there you go.
I will just sit here in silence until they reply.
That's right.
I'm going to sit by the phone all Friday night.
Did we read what's going on Facebook land?
I don't know, did we?
We're still a few behind. Josh Rowan says Part 6 was pretty badass. 7 and 8, probably my favorites. Goes to Hell, can really care less. X was pretty good. Freddy vs. Jason, meh. And Reboot, think they did a pretty good job. I agree
I
with
like
some
the
of
reboot.
that.
I
didn't think the reboot was. I didn't think the reboot was shit.
I did. I almost walked out of it.
Damn you, Mike.
I'm a tough bitch to please sometimes.
You are. I'm like, holy shit, Monster Squad's a good movie, and you're like, no, I really don't think so.
It was Balderdash.
Oh, okay. Let's not say things we can't take back, Jared. Come now.
But
well, Mike, elaborate more on the remake. Tell me, I'm not sure I'm familiar with your views of it, so let's.
Exactly.
Okay, so the remake as much as I love watching Jason become a guardian of the forest, who is the protector of the pot stash.
Well, anyone can make it sound dumb.
Also, I really love that it just turns into Texas Chainsaw Massacre randomly. Because everyone's favorite part about the Friday the 13th films is when he abducts young women and takes them to his underground school bus lair. I was like, what in the fuck is this movie? The kills were shit. It just, I don't know, it just didn't do anything for me. I was like, I love the Texas Chainsaw remake from the same director, Marcus Nispin. But I was like, what the fuck is this? And that opening scene where they recap the original movie with Pamela getting her head cut off was so badly done. It was horrible. I was like, I almost walked out then. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
I thought it was a good idea to kind of skip over the first part, but I agree.
Of course, the first part
it wasn't done the best, but
no, it was an opening credit sequence. It reminded me of the opening credit sequence of Texas Chainsaw.
The beginning?
No, the newest one was the garbage one.
Oh, Texas Chainsaw, or no, Leatherface.
Leatherface again. Yes.
Yeah.
Where
Again.
they open the movie with a guy tied to a chair with a chainsaw on his face, and then they're running opening credits over top of that shot. And I'm like, yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you for that. That's
Leatherface too. Hell bent for leather. Music by Judas Priest.
Stephen Dorff ruined that movie.
What's that?
Stephen Dorff ruined that movie.
Did he? I heard that he was amazing in that movie. I heard that he was amazing because he like had a meteor land in his backyard and open up a gate to the hell, like
Oh,
gate to
yeah.
hell or something. Like I heard he was amazing in that movie.
And there was little guys that kept running around.
That's right. But yeah, I liked the new Friday the 13th. Well, not the new Friday the 13th. It came out in 2009, but I liked that one because not only was it a refreshing look at Sean Cunningham's version of what he would like to make with the franchise, but it was fun because it had your old school classic kills in it. And the only problem I had with the remake, the 2009 remake, was that they should have ended it the way they wanted to end it. They originally ended it with Jason Voorhees getting killed. He gets strangled to death by a chain, and then his head he gets decapitated or whatever. I don't know. I don't remember. But then that's
kind
it.
of like a meat grinder, yeah. Kind of cuts the back of his head.
Yeah, and that's the end of the movie. But then they're like, oh no, let's lead it up to another movie where he comes out of the water and kills the main character. Like, we get it. Jared Padalecki from the fucking show Supernatural was in it, and this, you know what's funny? Jared Padalecki and Jensen Ackles, they both were in Supernatural, but one was in the remake of Friday the 13th, and the other one was in the remake of My Bloody Valentine. And it was a
great fucking remake.
It was a pretty good remake.
That movie, that still has the best 3D I've ever seen. I saw that shit in the theater, and I was dodging stuff.
I saw that shit on acid, and I was dodging shit.
So that kind of shows you where Mike's like plateau is, because everybody hated the remake of My Bloody Valentine, but Mike was like, it wasn't too bad.
Okay, so I hate the parts of My Bloody Valentine, the remake, that I absolutely hated were the fact that they blatantly lie to you when they reveal who the killer is. And I'm like, I'm not even going to try to understand the fucking logic behind this bullshit.
Like, it's Jensen Ackles, you cocksucker.
It was so stupid. But the rest of it, it was just really, really fun, overly violent 3D gimmick nonsense. And that's exactly what I wanted out of it.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it.
It was fun garbage.
And your boy, everyone's boy, Tom Atkins was in it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It was. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
He was
I like the original My Bloody Valentine. I think the original My Bloody Valentine is actually a really solid movie all around.
I didn't like the original. The original was kind of like, oh, I get it.
I didn't like the original either. I like
Scream Factory or Arrow, if you're listening, release My Bloody Valentine on Blu-ray.
That's right. So Jared can sleep tonight. Release it on Blu-ray.
You can't find it. It's out of print and fucking expensive.
I found the DVD of it for fucking cheap, but the Blu-ray is expensive as hell.
Yeah.
But I mean, the original My Bloody Valentine, people, I think they don't like it because it's kind of slower, and it's actually more of like a little bit of a character piece. You know, there's a lot about like the economic depression of the town. Like, they really set the stage, and it's more of a slow burn. Like, it's not really like a crazy in-your-face slasher flick, but it's fairly low key, but it's got some really, really effective scenes. especially at the end, the chase on the minecart. That was terrifying because it's so like slow and deliberate, but it's realistic exciting. It's not like we're running away from like a speeding train that's on fire. It's still like a stunt, but it's kind of a low-key stunt. But that made it like that like freaked me the fuck out. I'm like, oh my god, if I was in this situation, that would be so scary.
Yeah, like I would have loved to see more of like that happening.
Boiling people's face in hot dog water, you mean?
Yeah. Yeah, it's my favorite thing to do in the movie.
Hot dog flavored water.
Mhm. Chocolate starfish! Wait, we're
All right.
Oh, wow.
Guys. The first one of you fuckers, someone's leaving with a blood stain. I'm just saying. All right. Speaking of things the world does not need more of.
Fred Durst is making a movie with John Travolta. In case any of you wanted a reason to.
We do not need a reunion of Korn.
That's Limp Bizkit.
I know, this is a side note.
Oh my god.
We don't need
No.
either.
Funny story. Oh my god. Funny story is I apparently do a mean impersonation of Jonathan Davis.
What do you like, call him fat or something? How mean?
Yeah, I was like, oh, I'm Jonathan Davis, I'm fat. No. My wife says I do a good impersonation of Jonathan Davis, and if you guys want it on Facebook land, I will do it for you.
Are you gonna do twist for us?
I will do Word Up.
No. Do Freak on a Leash.
I don't know the words to that. I know the words to Word Up because I love the original
Let me try to remember.
Or the Gap Band. Was it Gap
Feeling
Band?
like a freak on a leash. There you go. There's the lyrics. I'll say it over and over again like you're constipated.
Something breaks apart of me.
Oh my god. It's off key. It sounds terrible. Holy shit, for a split second I thought I was watching a Korn music video.
Hey, but those on Facebook land, if you want Jonathan Davis singing Word Up, you hit that like button. I want to see you tap that like button. I want to see those likes fly across
All
the screen.
pretty ladies around the world.
Oh man, there's Jared's impersonation. But if you want to see Brian's Jonathan Davis impersonation, I want to see those motherfucking likes across the screen. I don't see any likes right now, so people are telling me no, you do not want to see it. That's okay. Good
Have another
day,
beer,
Brian.
Brian.
Have another beer, Brian.
Ronnie Reimer said "Shoots and Ladders." Man, that's from their first CD. That's an old one.
Yeah. But I will do. Oh, there we go. There we go. I'm getting it. I'm getting the half of the likes. Here we go. I don't know who it's from. Who's it from? All right. So we got it. Ready? Here we go. My impersonation of Jonathan Davis doing Word Up. Here we go. Hello, pretty baby, around the world, there's a weird thing I tell you, so tell all the boys and girls, tell your mama, your sister, and your brother too. There's got to be a reason that you know what to do. Put your hands in the air like you don't care. There you go. That's why.
If that hair growth thing works and you could get some dreadlocks and some bad facial piercings, you've got yourself. Do your dance. Do your dance. Do your dance. Quick, mom. Now tell me, baby. Tell me what's the word. The word up.
One step closer to that Korn tribute band.
There you go. You could
So there
totally
you go.
redo the Queen of the Damn
Oh my
soundtrack.
god, guys! Why don't you do that in the style of like modern day pop songs? We can call it popcorn.
Oh shit! Right? I should.
Perfect.
Like
That's
move
nice.
over,
I like it.
jukebox, whatever the fuck you are. Here comes Brian with some popcorn.
Yeah, but like with a K. Like okay, so I didn't even know the band was called Korn for the first like 5 years because I'm like, I didn't know how to pronounce a backwards K. So I was really
it was pronounced Limp Bizkit and every other late 90s bands that you're gonna fall in love
Was that the name of it? Wasn't that the name of their band, Drowning Pool?
with. I think the name of the band was Let's Spread a Rumor That Marilyn Manson broke his rib cage to suck his own dick. I think that was the name of the
That wasn't
band.
a rumor, Brian. I read about it on the internet.
Holy moly.
Well, message board.
Holy moly.
It was in an AOL message board, so it's
You were like, something breaks apart of me.
You even did the May.
Hey,
Well, the show's really gone off the rails.
Ryan, hold on. Get your microphone.
Anybody out there still
Clap and
listening?
do this a lot when you're
watching?
singing. You gotta clutch it.
Something breaks apart of me.
We actually have more listeners now since Brian has started singing Corn.
That's because they want more Jonathan Davis. I'm like the fun Jonathan Davis. I am like the drunk Jonathan Davis,
Jesus.
not the Christian. We're all going to hell, Jonathan Davis. Like I am pre-2004 Jonathan Davis.
This shit's cray.
I'm gonna reel us back in for a second. We got a comment.
Hold on, Jared. I just started a fan club Facebook page for Corn. It's called the Crazy Corn Crew, but we spell everything with a K. So if anyone wants to join with me,
Oh God.
it's facebook.com/KKK.
Yeah, you would. You would, wouldn't you, Mr.
Crazy
Michael
Corn
Martin?
Crew.
Award-winning
Jesus.
director of I'm Dreaming of a White Doomsday, starting a group for Corn, calling it KKK. Good job, Michael Marno. There goes our entire fan base. Thank you very much. Everyone have a great
Have a great night. This is Brian Enright.
Here's Brian Enright signing up as Jonathan Davis. My life.
So our buddy Joe Ridgely from Technical Defects asked, has anyone seen the new Kane Hodder biopic? Which was To Hell and Back, the Kane Hodder story. I think it just came out officially on Blu-ray this week. I haven't seen it yet, but it sounds kind of cool.
I have not seen it either.
Yeah, I plan on ordering it this weekend.
But I will say on the topic of Kane Hodder, excuse me, Kane Hodder is on the board for Scares That Care, and he heads up this division where they donate money to the children in the burn ward of the hospital, which is really cool. Kane is a huge supporter of Scares That Care, and he's a very, very nice man, and we very greatly appreciate his involvement in that. So he's aces in my book.
That's awesome. I've met him before. He's a nice dude. I really look forward to seeing it.
He told me that I hold court very well in a bar once. I was like, wow, that's pretty awesome, man. So that's my Kane Hodder story. Oh, I also took a shit next to him and Scares That Care. I saw the gloves go over the door, the divider, and I was like, oh my God, Kane Hodder's taking a dump next to me. Like all of my life, it's been leading to this moment. And then I said, oh, them damn enchiladas. But then I realized that it wasn't actually Jason who killed the man in there, so Kane
And
Hodder.
he wasn't in that movie either. That would have been funny if he said, I wasn't in that movie.
That happened to me when I was a kid. I met Gunnar Hansen at a haunted hayride attraction, and I had him sign Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. And he's like, I wasn't in this. And I didn't understand. Because I'm like, what do you mean? You're Leatherface. I'm like, I didn't understand the concept of different actors.
Aww. Poor
But then
little
I gave him
Mike.
Hell Block 13. He's like, holy shit, you've seen this? And I'm like, I own this. And then he was all excited, so I made up for my faux pas. True story.
I never got to meet him.
He was a nice guy.
We did meet John Dugan, though, who was Grandpa in that movie. He was a crazy character, wasn't he, Brian?
John Dugan, listen, man, every time I see John Dugan, he's either A, hates me, B, drunk and still hates me but tolerates me, or C, is missing. So occasionally I get the B's. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, no, John Dugan was like our first like celebrity drunk guest on the Horror Syndicate. So that was exciting. And then number 2 was me.
He was drunk and he was talking about how they went to a flea market and bought a deep fryer.
Mm-hmm.
That was a very interesting
He
conversation.
probably deep fried the shit out of everything he saw because he's from Texas, and that's what you do in Texas. You deep fry shit and you take part in fucking chainsaw massacres. But John Dugan's a cool dude. I actually don't know if I should say this live, but I'll say it live. I will without going too far into it. He talked about the late Toby Hooper and all of the issues that happened with Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. It was a bigger budget. Of course, Cannon, Menahem Golan, and Jorgen Globus, they produced it.
Mhm.
And he wanted to come back as a grandfather, and Toby Hooper was like, "Fuck you, I'm Toby Hooper. I don't need you." And then that's what happened. That's short story. Long story short, basically, what I'm saying. So yeah, congratulations, guys. You
okay.
witnessed that.
He got to hit the girl in the head with the hammer in the first one.
That's right.
Jesse James.
See, the first one, I really liked the first one because it was like, holy shit, we're being chased, and there's nothing that you can do about it. And the second one was like, holy shit, we're being chased, but here's an Oingo Boingo soundtrack. And it was very exciting.
And a guy with the last name Enright.
I love the Texas Chainsaw Massacre and Texas Chainsaw 2. They're like some of my favorite movies. The first one's just so fucking intense. And then the second one is just so batshit crazy. I love it. Even the third one, I think Jeff Burr really got the shit end of the stick with that because he got the directing gig like the day before they started shooting. And I think he pulled off a pretty damn good movie overall. And there's some really, really powerful images and stuff in that movie, but it gets shit on unfairly. And then the fourth one is even fun just because it's so fucking weird.
Yeah, I think the third one is criminally underrated. Like people don't talk about it enough.
No, they don't. I think it's getting a Blu-ray release too soon.
It's already out on Blu-ray. It's been
Is it already out?
Newsflash.
Is that the one that was like, okay, newsflash? Hold on.
I gotta catch up.
Go ahead, Michael Bardo. Newsflash. Give us a flash.
Newsflash. I said it's already out on DVD and or already out on Blu-ray.
Because Jared is not keeping up with the
The
times.
Warner Brothers like archive where they just shit out a movie with the same special features on it and then charge you $30 again.
Here's Richard Donner's Lethal Weapon with more scenes.
No, here's the Father's Day edition of Lethal Weapon that had the Walmart slipcase.
It comes with a Christmas stocking. Inside, you'll find your Blu-ray disc of Lethal Weapon 1, 2, 3, and 4 and a prophylactic condom.
Is that so you don't make yourself a daddy and don't have to get that for a present later?
All the ladies coming over on Christmas Eve watching Lethal Weapon 1 through 4.
Mike, that's what they call a loaded weapon.
Oh,
that's what Gene Simmons calls a love gun.
Oh, man. Speaking of Gene Simmons, the guy is a turd.
Yes, he is.
He's just like, oh my God, I'm Gene Simmons.
Covered such a plethora of topics tonight.
We've really been ignoring the Friday the 13th franchise, which has been pretty amazing. Those who want to know more about Friday the 13th franchise, there's 1,000 different other websites out there that recycle the same bullshit over and over and over and over and over again about the Friday the 13th franchise. But here we wanted to spice things a little bit up with the Horror Syndicate. So we're really excited to, at the end of the episode, please stay tuned because we have a tribute video for all the people who have lost their lives or lost their careers due to the Friday the 13th franchise that you see before your very eyes every day on Facebook. Yeah.
I do have a random Friday the 13th question to pose to anybody that's still watching. What is your favorite beginning? Which movie has the best beginning? I should rephrase.
Is there any other?
Because you have the original one that had a decent beginning, then you have the campfire story at the beginning of the second one. Third one doesn't really have much of like a big beginning.
It has a disco theme. Dum, dum, bum, bum.
It does have
Part
that.
4 has the hacksaw to the neck. Killer.
Yeah.
That's definitely the best.
Part 6 has the 007 Jason thing where he like slashes over it.
I do love the Part 6 opening.
The Part 6 where he breaks open his own rib cage just to suck his own dick.
And Part 7 kind of has a cool introduction too. I think Part 6 probably has the best beginning because it has the like 007 James Bond beginning.
You're with your baby, dude. I'm out tonight.
No one told me about Alice Cooper on the show tonight.
Deep in the woods, and you know.
Oh my God, is that Korn's Jonathan Davis?
Is that Jonathan Davis singing as Alice Cooper?
Behind the mask.
Gentlemen, we have a double guest star here tonight.
Right.
So here first, Jonathan Davis and Alice Cooper are the same person.
That's right. They are.
He's back. The man behind
You're
the
poison. Whoa. You're poison running through my veins.
I love the video for the Alice Cooper song where Jason swings down like a jungle vine and slashes through the screen.
It's a Tarzan, Jason.
13th.
So that has another segue. Like, which song from a Jason movie is the best?
Oh my God, it's definitely His Eyes by Pseudo Echo.
I lean towards that one too, from number 5.
I do love Lions, Love Is a Lie, just because of the Crispin Glover dance that he does. But I think that Pseudo Echo, His Eyes, is the best song in the entire franchise.
I like the music of Jason Takes Manhattan. It's so hopeful and uplifting.
They say the dark of the night burns on the right.
I think that's my favorite.
Brian Enright will be here all night. Be sure to.
I'll be here all night. Yo, if you're gonna hang around, the Heart Syndicate's gonna be live at NJ HorrorCon. That means Brian Enright, Chuck Ransford, and Jenny Marie will be live all 3 days of the NJ HorrorCon. So you may see Brian Enright do a little bit of karaoke while he's interviewing Cassandra Peterson. I don't know what I'm going to sing into her face, but we'll find out.
Can't wait.
Me neither.
Lex is like massaging Mike.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, the last 10 minutes of the show, Mike Lombardo getting a head massage.
He's going to cut my throat with a hacksaw. I was watching aerobics videos. Oh, no, I'm sorry. She's going to squeeze my head until my eyeball pops out in 3D.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the head crush in the shower is really a good one, too. I really like that one.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
That's another guilty pleasure to watch on Friday the 13th, is actually watching it with the anaglyph glasses.
Mm.
Oh, real quick, when I was screwing around on Mike's Xbox, I saw.
That's right, you heard her.
Michael, anyway.
On Mike's Xbox.
Xbox?
No, listen. So
You said X's box or Xbox? Because they
Xbox.
have 2 different meanings.
So there was a little icon for Jason. I don't know, it just said like Happy Friday the 13th, and it's the entire. It's all. I think it said it's all 8 movies, and it was originally priced at $103.92, but right now it's $13 for all 8 movies.
Oh, wow.
That sounds about right.
That's $1.
That is $1 a movie. Less than $1 a movie. Wait, no, 8 movies? The Paramount movies.
I
Okay,
think-
more than $1.
8 movies.
Got ya. If it was the 12 movies, then that'd be awesome. But it's just the 8 good Paramount movies.
Oh, yeah. Ever since everything happened with the rights between Paramount and New Line, they haven't released anything consecutively. I don't even think New Line's even put out like standalone Blu-rays
I don't
since.
think New Line exists anymore. Didn't they get bought out by somebody
No, they
else?
did.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but, well, they're owned by somebody else now, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I'm really waiting for Dimension to pick up the rights to it, so then there can be like 5 unrelated sequels that they just shoehorn Pennywise into for like 2 minutes.
Like
Extreme Dimension.
Pinhead.
Yeah. Dimension Extreme.
Extreme Elimination Challenge.
Oh,
You know what? I'm gonna play that tribute video, so let's end this. My name is Brian Enright. You can follow me here on Facebook at Brian Enright, or on Twitter and Instagram at gotta burp. At the Harju. So
That burp totally sounded like Jonathan Davis.
something breaks upon of me. Up next we have Chuck Ransford. Chuck, where can we find you, brother?
You can find me Facebook, Chuck Ransford, or Twitter, which I'd never use, Bloodsoaked13, and Instagram, Bloodsoaked13 as well. I definitely use Instagram more than I use Twitter.
That's pretty ballsy, man. Using your porn handle as your Instagram name.
I do what I can.
All right, thank you very much, Chuck. Jared, where can we find you, brother?
You guys can find me at Facebook at Jared Laterno, and like Chuck, I do not use the twatverse very much, but you can find me at zombie_survivor. This was a fun talk, even though it had little to do with Jason and Friday the 13th.
Wait till you see this tribute. All right, thank you very much, Jared. Up next, finally, we have Mr. Director of the award-winning Christmas family feel-good movie of the year, National Lampoon's Vacation 2. We have Mr. Mike Lombardo. Mike, where can we find you?
Well, if unlike Jared, unlike Chuck, if you were to use my porn name as to find me, it would be Happy Girthday. Also, that's the porn title that I was in, not my never mind. You can find me at www.realsplatter.com. That's real with 2 E's and splatter like a blood splatter that was cut by the MPAA in Friday the 13th Part 7. And you can also find me on facebook.com/realsplatter, spelled the same way. And you can find me in a few weeks at Scares That Care Weekend Convention, where I'm running the film festival in Williamsburg, Virginia. It's for charity, and we're playing Never Hike Alone and Lunch Ladies and Live Scream. A lot of Horror Syndicate guests are going to be playing there, so come play with me. Back to you, Brian.
Thank you very much. All right, everyone, enjoy the tribute. I worked very hard putting it together for you guys, so enjoy.
Make sure you listen to it with the music on.
All right. We are mute. If you guys want to watch on Facebook, you guys go ahead.
What the fuck? There's this